In the last lesson, we talked about applying techniques to our scales. We did a lot of scale sequences, practicing through patterns of notes, groups of notes. And first thing I want to say about that is go back and practice those with alternate picking if you haven't done that yet. All right. That's going to be something we do in the next level of scale lessons. But if it's something that you can apply to that, give it a try. Okay. For this lesson, we're going to apply hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now, this is those are the specific techniques, two of specific techniques among others that fall into the category of legato. So legato is a smooth style of playing as opposed to staccato, which is more of a disconnected way of playing the notes. So legato, it's going to be a really smooth, connected sound. So first one we're going to do is hammer-ons. I'm just going to give you a couple of pointers on how to do this. First thing is you're going to play the first note, and then take your pinky and slam it into the fret, the 8th fret. Now our pinky note want to land right next to the fret wire. I call this the sweet spot of the fret. Land right on the fret wire and kind of in between where the fret wire and the wood would be. You don't want to land like just over the fret or in the middle. You want to see if you can land closer to the edge of the fret, the space, all right? Now, one way you can test this is not even picking, and just take your pinky and slam it against the guitar and see if you can make it sound. Now, you can try the same thing on the next string with your 3rd finger, because that's the one that's actually going to be hammering on. You could just take your 3rd finger and right on the bone of the finger in the sweet spot of the fret, see if you can slam it down and make a sound. All right, once you have that, go through, practice the different strings, and then go back and pick the 1st finger. While that's ringing, you slam the other one on top of it. So you get 2 notes per 1 pick, like this. Pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer. All right, so that's how you do hammer-ons on the scale. Now, the other thing you want to watch out for is the rhythm. You don't want it to be like a uneven gallop rhythm or reverse gallop like this. Like that. We want it to be on a steady beat. All right, so if you want to use a metronome, that's cool, but you can go. You want to keep it on a steady time, all right? Because you want to be able to control the sound. You want to be able to control the rhythm. Okay, once you can do that, practice it in the octave position with the 3rd finger all the way like this. All right. Now, pull-offs. These are actually a little bit more involved. So a pull-off is when we're actually plucking the string or finger picking the string with the left hand, essentially. So we're going to have our 1st finger down on the 5th fret, ready to go. Our pinky, after we pick this note, the pinky is actually going to pluck the string like this. So you could try doing that. Hold down your 1st finger, take your pinky and pluck the string. And that's how you do a pull-off. So I'm going to play my pinky note and then pull off. It almost should be called like a pluck off or something. Or pull down. You know, you're going to pull it downwards. So you actually want to grab the string and pull it, or pluck off of it. When we go to the B string, these other strings, a couple things you want to watch out for. Your 1st finger wants to dampen the E string. Because when you do a pull-off here, your pinky is going to brush across the E string as you pull it down. And you don't want that note to sound. And you don't want to bar the 1st finger either, because you're going to get some mud there. You want to have your 1st finger lightly touching it so that when you brush across that E string, it doesn't make a sound. Same thing over here. You don't want this. All right, you want to keep it quiet. So once you get that, the next thing to check for is your intonation. So intonation is, are you in tune? And what that means is when you bend this, when you do a pull off, you don't want to bend the string. Sometimes we're gripping with so much force that we're bending the string like this. Like that. We want to keep everything nice and relaxed. And if you're doing that, one way to do that is just to play more lightly, but the other way is if you're pulling your finger, your whole string down, you maybe think about it like your first finger has to push the other way to kind of counterbalance it a little bit, just until you get used to it. But I'm thinking like light as a feather kind of thing, like my fingers are just filled with air or something. I don't know, it sounds a little woo-woo, but the last thing I would say is the rhythm between strings. When we're doing our pull-offs, we want to make sure that our first finger gets a full note. And not like this. And the reason for that is that we're trying to plant 2 fingers at a time. Putting both fingers down like that, and we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to lead and then plant. So you're going to do the first pull off and then lead with the pinky. And then as this first finger is ringing, we're leading with the pinky. We're going to play the pinky. As this is ringing, plant this one down, pull off. As that first finger is ringing, we're leading with the third finger. Play it, plant, pull off. Lead, play, plant, pull off, lead, play, plant, pull off, lead, play, plant, pull off. All right, this is the hardest part. So the other thing you want to avoid is if you're doing that and you're not planting in time, you don't want to do a downwards hammer-on like this. You don't want to do that. That's the other extreme, right? So if you're trying to plant 2 fingers down, and making your first finger staccato, that's no good. But if it's you're trying to go too legato and plant at the last second, you're going to get this downwards hammer-on. It doesn't really sound that good. So that's a lot that goes into this. So take those few things. First is plucking the string and dampening with your first finger to make sure that you're not making a bunch of noise on the other strings. The next thing is watch for your intonation, that you're not bending the strings by gripping too hard. Like that, we don't want that. And then the last thing is always think lead, play, plant, pull off. So we have start off with a pull off, lead and play, plant, pull off, lead, play, plant, pull off. So now we have hammer-ons, pull-offs, give that a try.